What if I told you that some of the most delicious food on our plates, oysters, mussels, clams, could actually be a key to healing our oceans? It sounds almost too good to be true, right? Well, today we're diving into the promise of shellfish farming, a really ancient practice that's making a huge modern comeback.
I think a lot of us feel this way. You love seafood, it's delicious, but there's that nagging voice in the back of your head wondering, what is this doing to our oceans? It's a real dilemma, and it's pretty much the central challenge we're going to unpack today.
So, to really get why we need new solutions, we've got to start with the problem. And the problem is a big one: the sheer scale of our demand for seafood.
The thing is, our appetite for delicacies from the sea just keeps growing, and that has put our oceans under an unbelievable amount of stress. Overfishing isn't just a buzzword, it's a serious threat. One source put it really bluntly, saying we simply cannot afford the loss of another species. That urgency has basically forced us to start looking for a much better way.
And that search leads us right from the problem to a potential solution that's been picking up a lot of steam. It's a different kind of farming, one that happens not on land, but right in the water itself.
Okay, so you've probably heard this term, shellfish farming, tossed around before, but what is it really? Let's break down what it actually means and how it all works.
In a nutshell, it's all about growing shellfish in controlled spots in the ocean. The best way to think about it is like agriculture, but for the sea. So instead of just going out and taking from the wild, farmers are actually growing these animals, managing the whole process from these teeny tiny microscopic seeds all the way to your dinner table.
So why is everyone so excited about this? Well, it turns out the benefits create these incredible, positive ripple effects that go way beyond just being a source of food. Let's get into some of the key advantages.
First up, it's amazingly efficient when it comes to space. You know, unlike traditional farming, you don't need these sprawling fields or huge buildings. A shellfish farm can operate in a pretty small patch of water, and that really lowers the barrier to entry for people who want to get into the business.
Now, this is where it gets really mind-blowing. This is the potential game changer. See, a lot of agriculture can, create pollution. Shellfish farming can actually improve the environment it's in. These little guys are natural filters. Get this, a single oyster can filter up to 50 gallons of water every single day. It pulls out excess nitrogen that can be really harmful to other marine life. It's a food source that is actively cleaning the water around it. Just incredible.
And, beyond all the ecological wins, there's a really powerful human story here too. The industry creates jobs, really vital jobs in coastal communities, and often these are for people who might have a hard time finding other work. So you're talking about a source of sustainable food and sustainable livelihoods at the same time.
So, helping the environment, helping local economies, it all sounds pretty perfect, right? But as with most things, it's not a magic bullet. To really get the full story, we have to look at the other side of the coin, the challenges. The reality is, this is a tough business. Anyone wanting to become a farmer is looking at some major hurdles. We're talking high startup costs, a dizzying maze of legal permits and regulations, and the constant threat of disease that could wipe everything out. And even managing water quality. The very thing that makes this so beneficial takes nonstop monitoring and a ton of expertise. It's way more demanding than just having a boat and a little patch of water.
So all this leaves us with a pretty big question. We've seen the powerful arguments for shellfish farming, both for the environment and for our economies. But we've also seen just how complex and challenging it can be. As we search for ways to feed a growing world without wrecking our planet, how big of a role should this really play? It's definitely something worth thinking about.
Want to raise healthy shellfish and avoid costly mistakes? Get your copy of How to Raise Shellfish by Gerard in the description box below and discover everything you need to turn your shellfish farming dream into a profitable reality.